I'm Eli T. Alright, so I'm ready to like start talking now, right?
Yeah, you're good.
I don't know whose mic that is. Watch it be stopping Fritz again. Anyways, I'm gonna turn on the fucking volume. Hi guys, I'll start the run because there's like, this is gonna be a decently long run. We can explain everything, so, I'll count down from 3 and, you know. Oh. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so I'll do my introduction and then I'll have my commentator introduce himself. So I'm Sajbean. I previously ran CTR and Ratchet Deadlocked at ARMEDWITHTHEIRSPEED. And now I'm running Crash 2, No Game Over Abuse. And with commentary, I got...
I am G Pro. That's actually my username. So I am G Pro. I have a pretty long-winded history with running Crash 2 and recently Crash to Insanity. And I know a lot more about this game than I would like to admit. Oh boy. So I guess in case anybody is familiar with Crash 2, Bean is currently running on the NTSC version, which back in those days they had to change the movement speed between the versions to be able to kind of like even out the speeds, considering lower frame rates back then didn't really transition very well, which resulted in the PAL version usually being faster. And in this game, it is true that Crash moves a lot faster. And as a result, Bean has to do special things and special tricks in order to kind of like cross gaps like that, which would be very easy on PAL.
Yeah.
Since he's on NTSC, he has to do some extras.
I am 21 seconds behind already. 21.6 to be exact. So yeah, this is probably the last time I'm touching the NTSC version because my old PS2 was unable to use Mechapone, which is a region unlocking thing. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna settle for NTSC. You know, I'm sure I can still you know, I like this game a lot, so surely I'll still have fun. And yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it. So I did get some new equipment though, so I'll eventually run PAL when I come back to running this game.
Finally.
One of those special tricks that G Pro mentioned is in the first level Turtle Woods, as well as I keep wanting to do the red gem skip because I'm so used to watching 100% runs. Anyways, I should have done it just for the fans. Oh well. So in the first level Turtle Woods and then the fourth level the pits, there's giant holes where you're meant to like go and fight some enemies, but you can just jump over them pretty easily.
Oops.
I'm in the 2D section. Okay, you know what? Just for the fans. Screw it.
Do it.
I have not done this in like a fat minute.
So what he has to do is he needs to extend a slide and be able to jump off of the spring box and then do a high jump by pressing X and then square immediately afterwards to be able to perform a high jump. Or, well, a glitched high jump is what we call it.
And this skip,
and then he has to body slam.
And this skip is not done in the category we are watching. I'm just doing this for the fans, and I keep messing it up. That is much easier on PAL because on NTSC you have to like wait for like a cycle or something. I don't know. I don't run 100% yet.
Yeah, the gem floats up and down, and on NTSC you just can't go high enough to get it in just about any in any position. On the PAL version, if you use the spring box, you could get it in any position, but you can also get it from the ground. But then you also have to wait for it to lower and get into the lower position.
I am now almost a minute and a half behind, and we're on the second split. The D-Rust run I did yesterday went a lot better than this. But as we were saying in the VC before this, there hasn't been a marathon run of Crash 2 that isn't scuffed as fuck. So now this is Hang 8. Starts with a little skip for this platform. It's easier than I used to think it was. I thought you had to like do a glitched high, but you don't. You can just do a regular slide jump. A little bit of tech that I'm gonna do in this level. I don't know why I got the mask. This isn't Crash 3. I'm gonna purposely span this little boost technique on this jet ski against the wall because it makes me move a little faster. And
Yeah, the explanation behind that is because Crash is going diagonally, he moves faster diagonally to basically sync with his forward movement. But since he is pressing up against a wall, what it does is it takes that diagonal speed and pushes it forward, essentially giving him the maximum amount of speed possible. It's only possible on certain walls, but it is very useful.
yeah, you will
And
also
that
see it
kind
in
of
oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. That kind of goes into one of the most useful techniques in the Crash trilogy called zigzagging. Because since you have that faster speed going diagonally, wouldn't it be interesting to move that diagonal speed forward? Well, you can do that if you go back and forth
Yeah.
between the D-pad, not with the analog stick unless you use analog calibration glitch, which maybe I'll explain later. Who knows?
Yeah, you'll actually see me zigzag in just a moment. There you go.
Yeah. So it is just bringing diagonal speed forward.
Little technique you
And
can do on
then-
this level is these purple birds. I'm trying to jump over them and I'm trying to spin like on the back of them. And it gives me like a tiny speed boost as you saw there. I got a bigger speed boost on one of the earlier ones, but yeah, that's a little bit of a tech we use in the pits.
Booty bump.
Is that what they're actually called?
No, but that would be hilarious.
Oh, thank fucking God. I was gonna say, like I come from a... I have never, ever seen that.
Breathe. Breathe. First you must breathe.
I did not know that it could bump you to the side like that.
Yes. It can push you in basically any direction. It just depends on where your Crash's hitbox is relative to the bird's position. Also, I think we skipped over the NSS. So
yeah, I was planning on explaining that later because it's like we had like a billion other things to explain, but you can do that.
Oh, okay. So the NSS or neutral slide spin is as it sounds. When Crash slides, he accelerates. As long as you're holding like whatever direction you are going for the slide. And then if you spin, as soon as you spin, the game actually it slows you down. You decelerate. But you can dodge this deceleration by letting go of any movement input, which is why it's called the neutral slide spin, because you go neutral, you let go of any movement input before you do the spin, and it makes you go faster for whatever reason.
Nice.
And also, in case you were wondering, yes, you can add the diagonal to the slide spin to get a zigzag NSS, which is something only top runners use.
Yeah, I sort of care about my hands. I already, oh fuck. I already run four input intensive speed games. I gotta, for this game I'm like, you know what? I'd like to preserve my hands and controllers.
I'm telling you, man, use your arm. It's much better.
So these are the boulder chase levels. These have the walls on these also do the boost thing that we talked about with the jet ski. But I don't have the layouts fully memorized yet, so I'm being a little careful about them for the moment because as you saw, I died like a few times. I'm really having them.
Do you want to know how I actually memorized the levels?
By playing them over and over?
No, what I would do is as soon as I would wake up, I would do each level like 5 times, all the backwards levels 5 times before I was allowed to give myself breakfast. And I did that for like a month straight. And they're all ingrained into my brain now.
I have a few like visual cues I use for some of them, but like one called Unbearable, I have a few visual cues to know certain spots, but that's it. Now our first boss battle, and I like the boss battle as a character, but it's admittedly a very boring boss, so it's very, very easy. It's an auto scroller.
Copyright infringement, by the way. So Ripperoo's laugh was actually taken from Lady and the Tramp and pitched upwards without giving credit or asking permission to use it. So Naughty Dog actually committed copyright infringement, by the way.
I did not know that.
Yeah. It's one of the hyenas in the pen.
If you watch the tool-assisted speedrun of this game, they do a funny thing where they bounce on Ripperoo as he's bouncing around. That's all I have to add about Ripperoo. Like I said, I like this character, but this boss is admittedly kind of boring. I'm just like, I usually just take this time to scroll through Twitter or Discord.
He's doom scrolling because he's playing the Doom game.
Here, I'll do my best.
That's not called Doom.
I'll do my best. Oh, I bounced on Ripperoo. I'll do my best imitation of Ripperoo's laugh right now. I'll do it when he does it.
That is the most unmenacing laugh I have ever heard in my life. Also, fun fact, for the TNT spots, you can dodge you have spin invulnerability on the explosions, but the nitros you don't. So, spin invulnerability is you can spin or slide and not take damage on certain things that can damage you. Not everything, just only certain things, which I don't know if Bean's going to use throughout the run, but it is kind of... It's important to know.
I'll be using it in a Warp... Well, I might use it in Warp 4, depending.
Warp 5, it's really useful.
Really?
Well, yeah, because you have Night Fight. It protects you from...
Oh, right. I forgot about that, yeah. The UFOs.
Oh, sorry, spoilers.
Let's see. This is Snowbiz. So in this game, in the Crash games, there's a mechanic. There's a thing called an Aku Aku mask, which allows you to take damage. And if you get another Aku Aku mask, it turns gold. And then if you get another one, you activate like an invincibility thing. In Crash 3 runs, we route the levels to get as many invincibilities as possible. In Crash 2, we actively avoid this with one exception, although in the case of this run, I'm actually going to do it on another level because I'm a wuss. Because in this game, it just makes you move slower than what the neutral slide spin provides. So you're pretty much...
With one exception.
Yeah, one exception.
Crawling speed.
Oh yeah, crawling speed. If you do... I'll show that off when we get it, but... if you do get triple mask, the fastest way to move is to crawl and zigzag, which looks really funny.
It does look really funny, but it's generally it was a bug in the code actually. It makes you go way slower, except when you're crawling for whatever reason, and also hanging on. What do you even call those things?
I think they're called graters? I don't know.
I have no idea what the hell they're called.
Basically, you can climb on the ceiling. That's all that matters. That's fine. That was optimal, guys. That was tactical.
No, he showed his underwear. Twitch TOS, Monka TOS.
Oh yeah, these are the sewer levels. These are characterized by having eels that electrocute the liquid. It's water. I don't know why I said liquid. Not drinkable water, just water. And having a lot of like tubes, tube-like areas like this. They also have a tendency to give split paths, but they tell you which one is the correct one just by using Wumpa fruit. I'm gonna wait for this guy. Actually, I could have just gone because the next level takes away your masks. So some of the levels in this game, like those boulder chase levels, as well as levels where you ride on a polar bear, they don't let you have Aku Aku masks. They take them away from you, and they don't give them back to you. Fucking assholes. Fucking, this is stealing.
So, oh, you know what? Go ahead and finish your joke. I apologize.
Nah, I already finished it. I already forgot what I was gonna say anyway, so you go ahead.
Sorry. But, so, one of the most fundamental things about, I would characterize it as basically most Crash speedruns, is there's a thing which, I mean, if you're familiar with speedrunning, you should know what cycles are. In Crash 2, almost all cycles are global, basically meaning that the cycles are running 24/7 up until you die. When you die, the cycles reset. So essentially, every death abuse would fix the cycles in some way. They start out at the same point at the same time. There are a couple of local cycles, but most of them are global. And pretty much that's why most Crash runners for Crash 1, 2, and 3 especially, and in some part Twinsanity, kind of already know what's gonna happen before it happens, because when you look at one part of the cycle, you know the cycle for the entire level. So Crash runners are very good at reading cycles, trust me. I would know. I may or may not be a certified Crash runner.
Yeah, G-Pro here used to hold world records in this game, but that was like a decade ago, so ideally he's the one that's doing the running and I'm the one commentating.
No, this is funnier. You're also playing on the worst version. Oh, okay. All right. Version.
I mean, I guess if we want to be truly technical, Japanese is like the worst, but that mostly. Yeah, for no-go, I think they're the same, NTSC and Japanese. The reason why Japanese is the worst is because to get 100%, you know what? I'll show you what you have to do to get 100% in that version. I'll show you one extra thing that you do, because I can actually do it right after this level. I don't want to spoil the surprise.
You have to touch the bear.
Maybe if I can think of that Finding Nemo scene. Also, you can skip those animations where like Crash gets like his body like shifts forward due to the rock hitting the door. But you gotta like time your movement correctly. So this is what you have to. This is one thing you have to do in the Japanese version to get 100%. Okay, there we go. Yeah, you can jump on that polar bear and it gives you 10 lives, and on the Japanese version only, you have to do that to get 100%. Like, that's an additional thing alongside the other stuff. So, you want to explain the bear levels?
Okay, so basically these are on rails. You run fast, jump. But, with bear levels, since you're completely on rails, the only way to go faster is by charge jumping. And as I said before, if you know the cycles, you will know where everything is going to be. And that means that at a high level, it's really tough because the hitboxes, especially for those orcas, are, to put it bluntly, really fucked up. And on top of that, on NTSC, you do move slower. Again, this is a trend. You move slower, so in fact, it is easier to 100% this level on the NTSC versions over the PAL version because of these next few boxes that are coming up right here.
Yeah, this is also part of the reason I stopped running after my current PB, because it's like, you know what, I don't want to build up any more muscle memory for NTSC, so I'm just gonna wait a while until I can get on PAL, which thankfully I'll be able to do so soon.
So would you like to know a fun fact?
I like fun facts.
I do too. So, a fun fact is that you can go above 99 lives as long as you collect the lives and then exit the level. And you could do this over and over, potentially until life around, I think it was 30-some thousand. Not sure if it's a signed or unsigned value, but you can get more than 99 lives. And they don't revert back unless you collect another life and don't go back to the warp room. If you don't, it goes back to 99. I don't know if it's 32,767 because it might only be a 2-byte value. I'm not sure, or 1-byte value. I don't know.
By the way, that box formation is a really nerve-wracking. There's a bunch of nitros there. I've sometimes memed on this level saying like, yeah, this is the worst level, when in reality, obviously, it's just because that box formation, I have skill issues at it.
Skill issue.
Yeah, overall, I think there's only like 2 levels in this game that casually I consider bad. And the speedruns, some of them are a little less fun, admittedly, but this game's pretty well made. I know speedrunners like to say that a lot, but this game is actually like really good. You should play it. I like this game a lot. It's my favorite speed game for a reason. Well, it's my favorite speed game for a lot of reasons, so yeah. Next up is the Komodo Brothers, which is another auto-scroller, so I'll let G-Pro give us more fun facts.
I was about to. I was wondering exactly how unhinged I can get here. Because I'll drop a Crash community lore, but I don't know if I should hold my tongue a little bit.
We have successfully convinced Sir Sanju to play Crash 2.
Yeah, no, he won't. Okay, well, I'll give the nicer version. So does anybody know? Raise your hand. Does anybody know who one of the biggest creators of Crash Bandicoot?
Naughty Dog.
Do you know his name? No.
Oh, Jason Rubin and Andy Gavin.
Andy Gavin. So this game basically was literally hacked. It was literally hacked. And so they used parts of the resources that they should not have used. So what does this mean? Basically, there is an issue with inputs and input overflow. And, well, it can cause a bunch of things like delayed inputs, dropped inputs, and things like that. And so the entire community says that Andy Gavin is basically bending us over and doing us in the butt. We say this all the time. Oh no, Andy Gavin's got me by the balls again.
Okay, let me see. Zero mask 15 and 30. Okay, so first of all, shout out to the Jack Runners, because I'm sure when they heard Andy Gavin, they had war flashbacks. I would know. I'm a former Jack Runner. So you might have heard me like mumbling to myself just now. So Warp 3, if you've ever like gone on my stream, you'll see that Warp 3 is all just one split. And the reason for this is because Warp 3 is very variable. So as I briefly mentioned earlier, the routing in Crash 2 and 3, and I assume the Wrath of Cortex and any other Crash game with a warp room, basically, where you can actually pick the level order. We route those out in a way that we're getting like certain masks at certain times. So Warp 3 is extremely variable because depending on how many masks you have when you finish the other boss, the Komodo Brothers, it will determine your level order. So I got something that I don't really get much these days, which is 0 masks out of there, because I was just kind of fumbling around. So I have to do the 2 levels in the warp room that take away your masks. Well, there's no masks to take away now, so I'm starting off with those. So this is my favorite level casually, Unbearable, and you'll see why. You'll see why because of one very special reason at the end. One very awesome reason around right here. Yeah, the best scenario ever, getting chased by a giant scary polar bear while riding a super tiny polar bear. I like this. I'm not even being sarcastic or joking. I genuinely
Bro's not
like
even
this.
going above the roof? That's crazy.
I don't know where you're supposed to jump for that. You can go above the roof and it's a little faster.
You jump on the wall, dude. You just jump on the wall and you just mash the X button like you're just above the wall. It's also faster because you do dismount the bear further ahead. It does save time, actually.
And now, if you guys liked the polar bear, this is the last time you'll see the polar bear, because we're about to do bear down. Not bear up.
My least favorite level. I fucking hate this level. This level just goes so fucking slow, and then it just goes fast for no fucking reason.
He hasn't ran this game. He hasn't ran this game in like 10 years, by the way. That's how you can tell.
Dude,
that's PTSD.
Dude, we literally raced this game like a few months ago.
Oh yeah, me and G-Pro, as well as our friend Sanju, we raced this game. I invalidated my run because I kept dying on a certain level, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do game over abuse. which is the perfect reason to explain what the category name is. I guess I'll do it. Because why not? I already started the tangent. So the category is called No Game Over Abuse. On speedrun.com, there are 3 categories labeled any percent. So the shortest one,
you bounce on box to abuse object limit to get crystal.
yeah, you bounce on a box for like 3 minutes and you do all the bosses, and it's a dumb category. The Rixer has a video on it. Just look up "These Boxes Break Crash Bandicoot." Don't play it. Don't play that category. The other 2 any percents. So when you collect the crystal, you're able to get a game over, and then go to another level. You know, collect the crystal, keep going. But as long as you beat at least 1 level in the warp room the intended way, you get to keep all your crystals. So it doesn't make a massive difference between categories. The world record is only like 14. Okay, yeah. It only makes it like 2.5 minutes faster. But yeah, Game Over Abuse, it's this category, but just a little bit less. And it also has a lot of RNG with shoes.
25%, by the way.
20.
Oh, so?
Is that actually?
Yes, it's 25%.
Okay, this is Road to Ruin. I died. This wouldn't have happened if I was on PAL with an extended distance. Okay, just to be safe. So these ruin levels, there's 2 of them in the game. They're a very good challenge of platforming, and that same principle applies in the speed run, where these levels will really test like how good are you at either playing it safe or taking risks. So here's a risk I'm not taking. I'm waiting for the cycle. You can glitch high over those flames, but I pretty much never get it.
That's
like
not risky. That's skill issue.
Yeah, it's probably easier on PAL, but I'm not on PAL now, are we? I will say, even if you are on the end, even if you can't get the PAL version for one reason or another, I'd still try this game. It's still a decent experience on NTSC, in my personal opinion. But of course, once I run on PAL, you're probably going to witness that change. You're going to be like, you know what, because I already know I'm not touching this version again once I get PAL. So, run at your own risk, I don't know. Let's see, next up is...
Definitely don't.
12 and
just
then 11.
play on the PAL version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Up next is well, actually, how? Oh wait, no, you're doing plant sewer or later.
Yeah. That's what the pin message says. I do what the pin message tells me. When I do runs of this game, I open up the Crash 2 channel in the Crash Speedrun Discord, and I open up a specific pin message that tells you what level to do the orders, because again, as we said before, Warp 3 is very variable, and I don't have all the routes memorized. So, as I said before, optimally you only get triple mask form in 1 level, but I also get it in this level because just mostly playing it safe. So yeah, this is the fastest movement.
Look at him zoom! This is how you cook.
Please get up.
So, does anybody want to know another fun fact?
Oh boy. Certified G Pro facts.
So, you know those guys that have like the flamethrowers?
Oh, I know what
like
this
the
is. I know what this
humans.
is.
You know exactly what this is. So all of the humans, they have a name in the code, and they're assistants. Well, when they're in the code, they want to shorten the name. So what do they shorten it to? Ass. So we call them asses. Also, on top of that, the motorcycle instance of Crash in Crash 3 is called Willy No Fuck.
Yeah, these guys did not take these games very seriously when making them. Yeah, that's all I gotta add. And I finally have to do level 11. Okay. So yeah, the final one is plant food.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'll explain one thing about plant food, and I'll let you go back to your thing. So plant food, there's a segment at the end where what they intend for you to do, they have a bunch of plants, and you can't progress normally without defeating them all. because you are going to be on a jet ski, but the path is blocked. So they intend for you to manually go kick their asses, and then get back onto the jet ski, and then continue like that. But the mask routing is done in a way that will have a mask to just damage abuse through them. So yeah, this level is done last if you have only if you don't have any masks when you finish the Komodo Brothers. There we go.
And now, I don't know if you said the boss's name, but you shouldn't say anything. Pause the game and let them know.
Oh yeah, I actually mentioned this on stream like last night. It's a little quirky difference between PAL and NTSC.
Yeah, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Just
Not yet.
Let it happen. Let it happen.
I'm pretty sure you can dodge that plant that just hit me, but I.
Yes, you can. You just need to not. You just need to move more to the left.
Hmm. Okay, and yeah, that's the damage abuse that we route this warp room for. That's one of the damage abuses. And
you're also supposed to take damage from the plant in the back, so that way you don't get caught by the ones in the front.
Hmm. Now, okay, I'm only 149 behind. That's actually not a bad warp 3, all things considered. All right, so this boss's name is a little bit inconsistent on this release. Also, this is probably my favorite boss because it's funny. Taz Tiger, and the boss bar says Tiny.
Tiny, yeah.
Another
because
version.
they forgot to change it.
Yeah, on PAL this is fixed. Another version difference between PAL and NTSC is these platforms, they beep before falling. The beeping is faster on PAL.
It is?
Yeah, it's a little bit faster. Watch.
I didn't know that. Hold on, let me. It is faster. What the hell?
I can't believe he didn't know this. By the way, he had record back in like 2015.
I didn't even. I always forget about it. Apparently, I have record in like 2014 for no go. I don't even remember. I had record
what the
for go
fuck?
abuse.
I died. I didn't even like notice. I just like fell off the platform. Well, we get to watch this again. Fuck. Wow, I didn't even like notice that. That actually kind of shocked me a little bit. Okay, so yeah, this fight you just kind of run around and you want to get Tiny to land on the red platforms or jump over a hole. It's pretty easy to manip him, I'm not gonna lie. It's a bit RNG, but it's not like the type of RNG that like you sweat about and you're like, okay, this is gonna kill my run. You kind of just think like, okay, I just gotta do this to accommodate.
It's pretty easy, actually.
If you ever played this game, whenever those platforms are beeping, there will always be one at the top that is safe to stand on. Man, why did it have to be a corner?
They also take longer to pop up. I think Tiny has to take like one extra jump. At least for the final phase, because I remember it dropping faster.
Alright, Tiny defeated. That I lost like an entire minute to that. I'm gonna do the crash dance because I'm cool like that. And now
He's
Warp
humping.
4.
Monka TOS.
Warp 4 is also decently variable, but not as much. I always do this level first, Ruination, because it has a good amount of masks. And then ideally we do the rest of the levels in numerical order, but sometimes you might have to improvise in case you take damage. Because this warp room does have the one instance of invincibility that everyone wants. Ooh, dodge that flame, nice.
Do you know about the out of bounds?
Yeah, I know about the out of bounds, I just never bothered learning it. I kind of just forgot to learn it. They're, like sometimes
I worked on it for a while too, and just no, it's not faster, unfortunately. So third mask form it is.
Oh, I thought you meant in this level, but no, I still know about the one anyways.
Oh, and hanging out, yeah.
Yeah, hanging out. Oh, I had a mask, didn't I?
Fun fact, you can walk on the things on the sides.
Yeah, and I believe that's actually used in 100%.
It is used in 100%.
Wait for these. Okay. one mask. I'm just gonna wait for those guys because I really don't want to lose the mask.
So, Bean, you want to know? You want to know something that you would probably hate?
What?
The E3 demo of Crash 2. If you did a slide jump or any kind of high jump, Crash stops as soon as he lands every time, and the only way to stop it is by spinning frame perfectly as soon as you land.
Oh, I love frame perfect tricks, albeit this is a 30 FPS game, but still.
I think it's frame perfect, and
Just gonna be careful here.
you did, yeah. You explained Go abuse, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's patched on the Japanese version. I never mentioned that.
Is it?
Yeah. Notice that there are no Japanese runs on the boards.
You think I look at the boards?
A little bit.
Dude, I don't even remember how long ago it was or even what placement my runs are.
Skill issue. So this
You call that a skill issue? You want to talk about skill issue? You want to talk about skill issue?
The real skill issue would have been if I ran into this ass at the start of the level. When I first ran this game, when I was like starting like really new to this game, I would occasionally run into those guys because I'd forget like the level layouts. Since a lot of these levels share oh that's not good. Oh, that's not good. I just got hit. Well, I'm losing time. But when because these levels like reuse themes, sometimes it's easy to get them mixed up, which is what happened to me. So Crash moves faster on these, the ceiling, and that's why I wanted third mask form, but I took damage, so, I'm not gonna get that time save.
You can also spin and vol those guys.
You can?
Yeah, from some of them. Some of them you can use spin and vulnerability. Not all of them, but some of them. At least I think so.
This game makes no fucking sense to me.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, I was so nervous that I was gonna hit that guy. Oh yeah, there's a move that Crash has when you're on these ceilings, and it's only used in an optional path. It's this. He can just coil his legs up. And that's
Why do that when you could just spin?
Exactly. Let's see. I don't remember much about this level. I guess I'll talk about the rest of the warp room. Is there any technical stuff we should mention with this game that we haven't talked about yet? We explained glitched highs, right?
Yes. We did not do glitched lows. So, if anybody remembers how I explained glitch highs, where you crouch or you slide and then you press X and then square. You don't press them on the same frame, because if you press them on the same frame, you get what is called a glitched low jump, which is lower than a standard jump, because Crash stands up on the frame that if you press jump and spin on the same frame as you're sliding, Crash instantly turns upwards, probably because the game thinks he's in the air. Which, yes, if you slide spin and then press X while you're in the air, Crash will actually tilt back upright. And it causes you to jump lower.
By the way, I use spin invincibility on those little bombs there that these plants drop, which is the one I referred to at the start of the run when he mentioned spin invulnerability. I think these tikis, the movement of them is RNG, but in the other level
depends.
Oh.
Yeah, these ones are RNG. The ones in behaving are not.
Yeah, that one I knew of. Let's see. So, some of my favorite levels are these levels. The theme is kind of weird because they resemble the chase levels in a way. I just call them the B levels. I like these. They got good music. I like doing them in the runs because it's a lot of just neutral slide spins, which is fun to do. And they generally
the fucks.
They got good skill ceiling, honestly. It's just nice to practice these a lot. And yeah, as you saw, there were some Aku asks earlier. If I had gotten hit in Ruination and not in the actual level where I needed the invincibility, I would have delayed the sewer level that you saw me do for a little bit until I exited a level with 2 masks. So yeah.
Oh, so there's something that Bean doesn't really do or at least I don't see you do, called a curl slide. So if you remember how I explained how you can zigzag your slide and basically anything. Well, what happens if instead of turning in the opposite direction, you just use one direction? Well, you can curve your slide during an NSS to give yourself more lines, because we use D-pad, or well, at the top level we use analog, but it's a calibrated analog. It's different. We mostly use D-pad for movement because it has the fastest movement without using any calibration.
By the way, even if I wanted to, I can't use analog. I have this controller right here. Here, let me. How the right side up.
Common Bean L, dude.
What? No, this is a fucking banger controller, bruh. This is like the best controller. Also, this is Cold Hard Crash. You want to explain Cold Hard Crash?
Should I start with a joke or should I start with yeah, I will do the joke later. Okay. So basically Cold Hard Crash is one of the notorious for being one of the hardest levels. In 100% you could do what is called a box stoop, where if you finish the bonus and then you die, the box count is still ticking, so you can essentially dodge half of the level.
Yeah, and we actually still dodge half of the level in this category as well, because
dodge the gem, you fuck.
I will, I promise. Oh,
he promises. All right, chat.
I got the Aku Aku mask. Honestly,
put him up for this.
So in the
Mark
Crash
his
games,
words. Clip it.
In Crash 2, they introduce a mechanic called a death route, or like a skull road. Oh, I still have invincibility, even though it doesn't look like it. Anyways, so it's called a death route because you die. Where if you die before you reach this platform, you know, it goes away. So you're encouraged to play without taking any deaths, and it leads to a super difficult path. In the case of Cold Hard Crash, it's both faster and easier to take the death route. If I don't die like 50 times, to take the death route as opposed to the regular pathway. So my mom is calling my name, and I probably should have told her that I'm doing a marathon run, so I think I know what my mom needs. I think she needs the keys to my car. I just heard her say that because she's gonna pick up my little sister from school, and I forgot that I have them. I don't know where my keys are. Oh, I see them. Okay.
It's okay. I will keep chat entertained.
Hi, boy. I completely forgot.
Okay. So.
Okay, give me a moment. This is actually urgent.
So yeah, Cold Hard Crash is actually my favorite level, surprisingly, because it's really fun, and also it is fun. Yes. I had a split name for the longest time that was very inappropriate. That Bean doesn't know about how inappropriate that split name was.
I really don't.
It was Cold Kalibo Crash. You can figure it out from there.
Kalibo? Is it in reference to the runner named Kalibo?
Yes, but they all started with K.
Oh! I just thought it was a joke about. I thought it was meant to be like some kind of like inside joke.
I used to put old runner memes in there, and I thought, you know what? I'm a fucking stupid 20-year-old. Let me put this into my splits and see if anybody says anything. Nobody said anything, luckily.
I should also mention, it's kind of funny that there's a runner of Crash named Kalibo 3, and he just runs Crash, and not like the game that his name originates from. It's like a Ratchet and Clank speedrunner named like Cold Hard Crash or something. So next up is Behaving. This is another B level. I like this level as well because, again, it's just a bunch of neutral slides spinning, avoiding enemies. Watch Warp 5 be the one that goes good. Yeah, so the last time, like, when I did that race that I mentioned earlier, I forgot the crystal in Cold Hard Crash and I had to go back and do it. That was pretty painful.
That was hilarious. So, Bean just committed a sin
What do I do?
You do not, in fact, slide that first box. You always spin that first box, because if you go too fast, sometimes the bees spawn in the boxes. So you always want to spin the boxes, not slide the boxes, or you will take damage.
Interesting. I'll have to... Yeah, you can still tell that I'm pretty new to this game, because, very much a difference between guy that's only been running for 6 months.
I've caught older runners doing it too, or more experienced runners doing it too. Like that box that you just broke again is a box where bees could spawn. And also in the review copy of this game, the nitro switch crate actually destroys those nitros that spawn you into the place where you get the purple gem, and at times you can actually trigger them to explode. In that review copy, also, you just slid 2 boxes where bees can spawn in. I just wanted to let you know.
Does it also apply? Does it also apply like you spin them from a neutral slide spin, or I'm not?
Any spin's fine.
Okay.
Just don't slide into them.
I had to be careful not to like slide into that checkpoint box. I thought like, okay, do not do it. Just don't. So one difference that you may have noticed. Okay, I could have. Oh, there is a bomb. I got mixed up there for a moment. So one difference between this level and the other one is that in the previous B level, it was just one bee that would come out of those hives. Now it's like a bunch of bees. Also, that nitro crate lags, makes the game lag like a ton. When
it turns into your grandma's laptop from 2001.
Exactly. So this is Engine, arguably like the hardest and only boss fight that's actually kind of difficult in this game. This boss fight is a little different in that you don't get Crash's traditional moveset. If I press square, he throws Wumpa Fruit instead.
And circle.
Yeah, but I use square because
you're a square.
Yeah, and I didn't know about that as well.
Okay, so this boss is way harder on NTSC than it is on PAL, because he moves way faster, and also the input you can do more inputs, which can cause more dropped inputs. So this is actually very difficult to do on NTSC versus PAL, where on PAL you can very easily like break both of the hands at the same time and break both of the shoulders at the same time. I don't even think that anybody at the top level can do the same things on PAL if they're playing on NTSC, because Engine just moves too fast.
Yeah, you see right now I got like maybe one. Okay, yeah, that was actually somewhat of a lucky hit. At the very end, he has this attack where he uses a green like atomic laser and it instantly annihilates you. We're gonna kind of like cheese it a little bit by throwing a few Wumpa Fruit and then dodging out of the way, and then we're gonna like spam a bunch of Wumpa Fruit the second time he uses it. So it's not difficult to do, but it's kind of fun. It's fun in my opinion. I don't know. It's the little things in this game.
I think bro needs to go back to sniper practice.
I do. Or I just need PAL. You also may notice that he pronounces it PAL. I call him out for this once because I watched like an old run and I heard him say PAL and I'm like, dude, what?
Okay, and what's wrong with that?
Everything.
You died like 3 times on Cold Hard Crash, motherfucker. Don't even try.
Oh, phew. I am so glad I didn't die there. This is the last time you get to witness this, because he doesn't do this for the final boss. Oh, the final boss.
I like the part of the final boss where he goes,
"No! You haven't seen the last of me, Crash Bandicoot!"
Thanks, Mr. Krabs.
Oh yeah, Clancy Brown, voice actor. Mr. Krabs is voice actor of Cortex. So
also from Ohio, by the way.
Ohio.
See, I call it Nsk. Yeah, I call it Nsk in PAL. Don't fucking judge me. And then there's also Nsk.
So this is Warp 5, which is well, standard of the game, so they have to challenge the player. There's 2 levels that take place on this little like space station, Piston It Away, and Spaced Out, which yeah, you can probably tell what they were thinking when they created those names. So they have these
I think
little,
I pissed on it.
they have these robots that they can open and close on a cycle. They have these I don't even know what the hell these things are actually.
These?
No, I am not fucking making this joke on
Who's Steve Jobs, motherfucker?
Let's see, what was I gonna... Sheesh.
So here's a neat little fact. So in the next level, in the next space level, Spaced Out. Actually no, you could do it in this level too. You get these like little ray things where when you touch them, they damage you and they can make you small. You can actually stop the game from killing you if you spin frame perfectly on the frame that you're supposed to die. And interestingly enough, you can use this in Spaced Out to skip the gems. You don't need to get all the gems to finish Spaced Out if you're Mini Crash. Which if you've seen the TAS for 100%, I'm the reason why Boomfan used Mini Crash, because I helped him a lot with making the TAS. I gave him ideas and things like that. Mini Crash saves time. It's just really hard to pull off.
I golded that, by the way, by like a few seconds, by about 5 seconds. So that was pretty cool. This warp room
also, sorry, I let me finish this real quick. So Mini Crash can also clip into walls basically and stand on 1 pixel ledges. Did you die?
No, I'm just looking because, oh boy. If you've played Crash 2, you might think to yourself, wow, this game's fantastic. This game's like perfect, you know. Maybe we got a few scuffs here and there, but you know, overall this game is nice. Man, surely nothing in the final warp room would make me wonder at what point they were like crunched. And you get this. You get these jetpack levels. The jetpack levels, I'm accustomed to the controls by now, but it very much takes some getting used to, and sometimes Crash gets stuck on things, like on the walls.
Listen, man, you didn't grow up in the time of inverted controls. I was born in inverted controls.
It's not even the inverted controls, it's just like, the jetpack just doesn't feel good to control. Like, if you try this game for
use X and circle or R1 and L1?
I want you to guess which one I didn't know you could use.
R1 and L1?
I did not know you could use those.
R1 goes forward, L1 goes backwards.
Yeah, I did not know about that, like, at all. Also,
you can actually change inverted versus normal if you go into the pause menu while you're doing the jetpack.
Also, I golded again. I golded a rocket. And now this is the final like jungle level. I like this level a lot. So the gimmick with this level is you can't see, but there's these fireflies that will accompany Crash, but after a certain period of time, they will go away. So we gotta be quick. And the 100% speedrun, there's also a second level similar to this called Totally Fly. And because we have to get all the boxes, it leads to a very cruel trick from the developers where we sometimes have to break boxes without being able to see. Like, the firefly will abandon us in the middle of our box breaking, and we're just kind of stuck there, just fending for ourselves in the darkness.
So, Bean, would you like to hear another fun, some lore drop?
Once I quickly explain that the spin invincibility applies to these UFO things, which we mentioned earlier, so yeah,
yes.
Drop the fun facts.
So, back when I was actually doing 100% runs, I was in Totally Fly. And if anybody knows anything about how hitboxes with crates work, they're fucked. And so it was pretty late at night, and I was in Totally Fly, and I was just, I ended up slide spinning into a TNT. And I'm like, oh no, my run's fucking over. And then I just realized Crash is still there. So as it turns out, that particular TNT, you cannot slide spin or spin to blow up. So after like two times of like slide spinning into it, I did a glitched high jump into it to break it. and it was like, yeah. I was just tired, and I'm like, I think I went to somebody. I'm like, guys, I found a thing. What did you find? This. And so now every time I see somebody go there, I'm like, fun fact. The reason why we do that is because I was so tired that I did a slide spin into that fucking TNT.
I just realized I dropped over 500 frames. This game
Yeah.
is very interesting. Like, it's kind of neat when you see like all your like favorite games, like for casual play, they're well made, then you speedrun them and it's like you see these little things that's just like, how did this get past the developers? I actually had a moment like that last night on my stream where I was playing a different game, Ratchet & Clank 3, and I found out a certain enemy dies really quickly to any weapon and that they just have like almost no HP, so
Bean, pause the game and go into the options menu real quick.
Oh. So he's right.
You can actually change it to where it's not inverted.
Oh yeah, right now I'm using R1 and a L1 just because why not, just for funsies. In my PB of this, in my current PB, in this level, my eye like starts like kind of watering a little and it gets unbearable to the point that I actually stop for a little bit and I'm like running into
He
things.
said the level name. You said unbearable. You said the level name.
That's a different level. Checkmate. Okay.
Well, pack attack.
Also,
You fucked idiot.
Also, another version difference is on the PAL version, I am able to, once I spin that scientist, the ones that electrocute themselves, I'm able to just, continue past it. But on NTSC, I have to hit it a second time, which is what the developers intended. So yeah, that's another disadvantage of the NTSC
The
version.
firewall doesn't actually exist.
Also, I just saved like several seconds because again, in my PB, I like kind of stop a little bit because I needed to like rub my eye. And now finally, the final level, spaced out, a complete gauntlet for sure. If you play this casually, you're gonna find yourself like thinking like, oh, I didn't know that enemy was gonna be there. Oh, that's bullshit. But as a speedrunner, you might have some instances like that if you're new.
Yeah, and then once you do 100%, you realize that the box hitboxes don't actually function. And some are almost nearly impossible to spin.
Also, I feel like I shouldn't say that. Look, jinxes don't exist, but I'm just gonna say it. Warp 5 has been the least disastrous warp room of the run so far.
Bro predicted it.
Okay, phew. Needed to be careful there because
So
I didn't
if you jump off of that enemy, right? If you glitch high jump onto that enemy, you can go on top of the roof and then just do a couple slide spins, skipping these enemies.
Yeah, I never bothered to learn that one.
I'm not sure if you can do that on NTSC.
Yeah, I knew about that, and I'm pretty sure you can because I believe one of the NTSC runners has it in their PB, but I didn't bother learning it because it's like, psh. Fuck. I jinxed
Damn,
it.
your ass almost got minified. Dude, you almost turned into a midget. Can you believe that?
I'm more concerned about the fact that I hit that enemy like just before it like electrocuted me. Like I narrowly avoided getting electrocuted by
That's because Crash's ass is fat. Don't question it. Just be like, oh yeah, he got the big booty. That's
another bit of lewd lore of this game is that this game was like in the files was like originally called like Crash's ass game or whatever, and I believe
it was called Sonic's ass. I actually put that in the chat earlier.
All right.
I put that in the chat earlier because I wasn't able to say it.
And now, just to be super careful. All right, timing's gonna end in like a little bit because now we finished every level.
After the third Cortex hit.
Yeah.
So when Cortex gets hit a third time, you hit. That's one time.
I do actually need it to be quiet for a moment because I use an audio cue to time. I forgot a crystal. Because I use an audio.
No, you didn't.
I forgot a crystal. How?
It was the rocket one.
How?
Ain't no way, dude.
How?
So we are going over estimate.
No, I'm gonna make sure we don't go over estimate. What's my estimate? An hour and 5?
Yeah, and oh no, it's an hour. So
An hour?
yeah.
I swear, I was thinking of Crash 3.
You were actually gonna do it. You just forgot the crystal. So, fun fact with this level, Rocket, if you enter it with 2 masks, sometimes the game auto kills you.
A part of me wants to like commentate and say something. I'm in shock that I actually did this. That I somehow forgot how could I have forgotten?
Because you were distracted. That crystal's actually pretty easy to miss.
I swear I got this thing. What?
Nope.
And I died.
Oh, because you were trying to dodge those things. Don't get tilted.
I'm not tilted. I'm just like I'm in disbelief.
That is exactly how a tilted person sounds. Listen, motherfucker, just play the video.
These games don't tilt me. They just like put me in a state of disbelief. Like I'm like I just don't. Sometimes I just don't believe these things happen. It's like sheesh. It's gotta be a dream.
This is when Andy Gavin says, "Oh, it's your first time? Okay, I'll be gentle."
All right. Oh yeah, there was also a jetpack skip I could have done, but I didn't do it because I used to think it was not possible on NTSC, but apparently it is.
That's Rocket.
Yeah.
You're on Rocket. In Pack Attack, you could do that.
Anyways, Cortex time, I guess.
Okay, now prepare for time.
Yeah. So I need an audio cue for this first hit, so I'm gonna be quiet real quick. All right. I use the music, the time when to hit him, and then I use a certain formation of rocks to time this second hit. So, and then one final hit. And time. 101:13.
Congrats! You made it under estimate. Look at the stream. It says 105. He did it under estimate. Good job, GG's. Lose a skill issue next time, though.
By the way, at the start I mentioned that I ran CTR at the last marathon. That one I had to forfeit my run because otherwise I would have gone over estimate.
That was amazing.
I think I'm just cursed with these
Did that
games.
happen? Why do I not remember that?
That's just a crash run in general.
Thanks for the GGs, everyone. Again, I'm not mad that happened. I think it's fucking funny. I'm just like in shock that I somehow forgot it. I guess I guess I should take this time to mention this is probably like I've run like 15 games by now. This is probably my favorite one out of all of them. I like this game a lot.
Insanity.
Yeah, speedrun this game and speedrun the other Crash games. Like pretty much all of them are good. It doesn't matter if it's the PS1 trilogy, the racing games, the PS2 era, the Insane trilogy. They're all pretty nice.
Just don't play Boom Bang.
Hear that? Don't play
Well,
Boom Bang.
awesome. GG's, guys.
Oh, one last thing. Thanks to
yeah.
G Pro for commentating and to y'all for hosting this marathon. It was an honor to not go over estimate for the second time in a row. Legitimately finish the run.
Yeah.
And for my last bit,
Snooping as usual, I see.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. We are gonna go right into our next run, which is gonna be Jack 3. Real quick, we have one little donation to read off. Big Al with the $10. Thank you so much for the donations. Keep them coming, guys. We got some more runs coming. We got a long one coming up, so this is the time to go get your snacks and watch some runs, get cozy.